Welcome back to episode 6, everyone. Inside the CSAC, a platform that gives our student athletes to talk about more than just the X's and O's. As always, I'm your host, Tone Cockrow. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Jessi Manning from the University of Valley Forge women's basketball team. Jessi's a sophomore, majoring in sports management from Paterson, New Jersey. So welcome to the pod, Jessi.
Thank you. Thank you.
For sure. So today we'll do it a little different. Today we usually, explore the life of a student athlete, but we have the pleasure of talking with you today. You did some big things in January. Sorry we didn't get this pod up a little sooner, but you did some big things in January, exploring different opportunities that, some of our student athletes might want to also explore in the near future. And, some of the students watching this show might want to explore as well. So we'll be happy to talk about that today. Get into some good details and just thanks for joining us today.
Of course, I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so let's dive into it. You know, you you joined the NCAA Student Immersion program in 2015, Division Three Diversity and Inclusion Working Group, Division Three Governance Staff, and NCAA Office of Inclusion. They partnered on this program to bring ethnic minority students to the NCAA convention. The Immersion program is held annually at the NCAA convention. This year, we had the opportunity for it to be held in San Antonio, Texas. That was my first time being in Texas ever, so it was a good experience. And with your program is for ethnic minority students, preferably juniors and seniors, but you're a sophomore, so you got an early step. With an interest in Division Three college athletics. So, kind of talk to us about that experience and what it was like being in Texas. Just give us the
hmm
whole rundown on that.
Okay. Well, it was actually my first time in Texas too. So it was different. It was a little chilly. I wasn't expecting that, but
Right.
yeah, so when I had first got to the hotel, like it was like all of these people like greeting us and like I don't know, it was almost like overwhelming. And then yeah, so it was like the whole San Antonio, everybody you saw was from some school, some NCAA school. I got to meet a lot of people, learn a lot of things, and overall, I enjoyed the experience.
Good. So,
Yeah.
you also had a chance. We made history. Well, we were a part of history. We, got to go to the Alma Dome,
Yeah.
where, the Spurs played Golden State Warriors. So we seen Steph Curry in person. Just kind of
Mhm.
talk to us about that. Being a part of the biggest crowd in,
Mhm.
NBA history. Kind of talk to us about that experience there.
Yeah, so when I found out that I got accepted into the program, I was trying to find something to do in San Antonio, and then I was like, "Oh, the Spurs," and then coincidentally, the Spurs were playing the Warriors right at the Alamo Dome. I think it was their first time back in like over 20 years or something like that. So
Yeah.
it was an enjoyable experience. It was a huge stadium. You know, the atmosphere was amazing. I enjoyed watching the game, so I was happy to be a part of history.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I said like I thought we had good seats until I actually got into the dome and I'm
Oh
like,
my,
I can't see.
yeah, I know that whole
But
deal. That was crazy.
I think your seats were a little bit better than our seats though, I would say.
Yeah, I was right behind the Warriors bench.
Oh man, yeah. So that had to be a good experience seeing Steph Curry up close in person.
Yeah.
So let's circle back a little bit. We kind of breezed through the student immersion program.
Mhm.
Kind of talk to us about, how'd you get with the program? How you find out about it, and then like what were the steps, into actually join the program?
Yeah, so I think that you had to be referred to apply for it. So my AD, she had told me to apply for it, and I think that was back in September. So I went through the application process. I had to answer some questions and then just submit it. And then I believe I found out about a month and a half later that I was accepted. So the process was really easy, but I know it's very competitive because they only take about 40 students out of like every Division 3 institution.
Mhm. So with that process, did you have to hand in a resume or was it just application?
No, it was just you had to answer questions about like, why you were interested in the program, like why do you want to pursue a career in sports, what do you enjoy about Division 3, things like that. But it was pretty simple.
Nice, nice. Well,
Mhm.
congratulations on being accepted to that program and
Thank you.
also getting to explore the opportunity.
Thank you.
So let's dig in a little bit about, actual convention. So we were at convention for three nights, 4 days, so 11th through the
Mhm.
14th of January. Like you said, very overwhelming. That was my first convention as well. So many people. And they had so many different events for us. And I felt as though I didn't get to explore everything that I wanted to explore. I know a lot
Mhm.
of people from my cohort actually felt the same. So kind of talk to us about some of your favorite events,
Yeah.
with at the convention.
So, since I was a part of the immersion program, we had like kind of like our own schedule and different things in between the whole convention. I think one of my favorite moments was the disc workshop. So it was essentially we were learning about like, how our attributes and value add to our teams and possibly our future careers and like how we can utilize those things about us and apply them to different areas of our life.
Right. And you say disc. I've now taken the disc assessment two times in the last 5 months or so. So give us a little bit of insight about your disc. Like D, I, S, or C.
Yeah, so actually, I think I took it about a year and a half ago. And the first time I took it, I was a C and a S. And
Okay.
then it was kind of crazy to me because I took it again and it was the same thing. Like my chart, it really didn't change much.
Right.
Yeah, but some of my core values did change a little bit. I think one or two of them kind of surprised me, but I was kind of expecting that.
Right, exactly. So, what you're saying being an SC now, for those that really don't understand what that means, could you kind of get in a little bit of detail? What does it mean being an SC? What people do you work with the most? What might you need from a boss? And when you're working in a professional setting.
Yeah. So the C, I forgot the exact term for the C, but the overall gist of it is about how C's like they care about perfection and then they look for the facts. Like they want to be able to prove their point and back it up with legitimate facts. And so I can see that in myself a lot. And then the S, I think that was steadiness. So that one is kind of more of like, you don't really choose this side or that side. You're kind of in between, kind of going with the flow. And I can kind of see that within myself as well. I think it was interesting, the assessment.
Right. So, developing into your career path,
Mhm.
within the next couple of years, how do you see your SC working out for you, and what are some of those conversations that you might want to have with your boss,
Mhm.
letting them know like, hey, I'm very detail oriented, this is how I work, I
Mhm.
want to kind of balance off what you do, and how we can make this thing work together.
So something that I would want my future boss to know is that I am very detail oriented. I have a hard work ethic. I pay attention to details, little things like that. And I like to take my time on things. Like I don't like to move on to the next thing without finishing what's in front of me. So that could probably be like a little challenge for me because I know a lot of things have deadlines, but like I want everything to be perfect, to get it right. But I always make sure that I have the facts to back up, why this is correct.
Right. So it's not like out of thin air. Exactly. Yeah. So obviously on the last day we got to be a part of the business session,
Yeah.
and that was just amazing seeing literally everybody at convention comes to that business session voting on legislation. Talk about your experience there and what it was like for you, just being a part of the change that we're providing for the NCAA.
Mhm. Well, I was actually shocked that we were able to fit everybody from Division 3 in that one room.
Right.
But I did enjoy the business session. I think it was interesting. We kind of got to see like the behind the scenes of how the ADs and administrators are able to vote on proposals and see them come into effect in the future years.
Right. So transitioning into the immersion program and convention. Talk about some of the connections you created and how those are special to you.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, so during the immersion program, they assigned us a mentor. So we had to have like a meeting with them before convention and, like kind of get to know each other, different things like that. And then during convention, we had the opportunity to like meet with them and then like, talk about different things, kind of like interact with them in person. So I got to meet like a lot of student athletes as well from like different parts of the country. And then I met a lot of ADs, administrators, commissioners, and I think overall I was able to like learn from them and understand their roles within their athletic department and like how it functions. I was able to receive a lot of good advice from them as well.
Good, great.
Hmm.
Um, and like I said earlier, we got those 4 days, 3 nights, but it felt like a breeze. Our time was, we couldn't we couldn't get to every session, but I guess we
Mhm.
tried to do what we could the most. And like you saying, that being your first convention, that being my first convention, and 2024 convention will be coming up next January. What are some things that you might want to do different in 2024 convention, or that you
Mhm.
might have done different in 2023 convention?
Okay. So I think with this past convention, I was able to understand the systems and structures and like how different things work. I learned how to network, and I'm not an extroverted person, so that was like a little uncomfortable for me. But I
Right,
think going into the next convention, I'll know how to make more meaningful connections and like, have genuine conversations with other people.
right. And I feel like that's a big part of college, not
Yeah.
even just convention, like just going into college. And I tell
Mhm.
a lot of my peers, and I just started mentoring a kid. And it's kind of a conversation I had with them, that you gotta be able to network.
Yeah, it's true.
Like you said, you're introverted, but those conversations that you have with people and those connections that you make, those will open doors for, you know, career opportunities for, the future.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. So, obviously going to convention, the merger program, you obviously have an idea of, a career path that you might want to take.
Hmm.
So talk about your reasoning into wanting to explore a career in college athletics.
Yeah. I think like speaking from student athlete experience, I realized that it is like challenging with learning how to manage your time because like not only do you have your sport, but you have school as well, and then like a lot of people work, and then like you have to have like a personal life. And so I understand like the challenges with it, especially like with mental health and other aspects like that. So I would want to like almost like be like a support system to other student athletes and then like help them navigate through college as a student and an athlete and like, overall just have a positive impact on them.
Right. So in a sense, it kind of seems like, and this is kind of similar to me of why I wanted to get in college athletics and administration, is I wanted to, give student athletes, if not the same experience that I had, because I feel like I had a great experience in college with athletics as well, but if not the same, then a better experience. So it kind of
Hmm.
seems like you're on that same path of, wanting
Yeah.
to give back and make sure opportunities are there for other student athletes.
Hmm. Yes.
Um, and with college athletics, there are many different paths that, someone might take. We have student athletes that might want to explore coaching, student athletes that might want to explore, administration. What things kind of interest you in college athletics?
So as of right now, I'm interested in administration. So
Okay.
I actually work here at my university. So I work in the athletic department as an administrative assistant. I got to do a lot of behind the scenes things, and I think that's the area that I like, the operations and like managing aspects. So I think that's something that I would be interested in going forward.
All right, nice. So are you working with, all of your sports programs, or do you have a specific group of programs that you work with?
No, I work with all of them.
Okay.
Yes,
And
all
so,
of
and
them.
we're working with all of them. I know for me, before I started working in athletic administration, I didn't really know about some sports like the field
Mm,
hockeys and the things like that. But as I
yeah.
started working, I'm starting to get interested into them. So, just what are some sports that you might have developed on, or started to gain like a interest on?
Yeah, I think the one for sure was soccer. So, like you lose me in soccer, but like after going to some games and like working some of the games, like I've learned different things and I'm like, oh, this is like kind of cool. So I would say like soccer, probably like baseball as well, because I'm not really familiar with baseball, but I do end up enjoying them.
Right, nice. And
Mhm.
working with the program, working with Valley Forge,
Yeah.
what do you say will be, your favorite thing to do right now?
right now.
Yep.
Hmm. I think my favorite thing to do is uh, game management.
Okay.
So, so I have like we have like a system where we have like a game manager who controls like all the operations of the games. Like they have to arrive early, make sure everything is set up. Make sure the officials are good, the other team is good, make sure during the game that everything functions pretty well. And I think I enjoy that.
I feel like with game management, a lot of parents, student athletes, families, they don't really see that behind the scenes work
Yeah,
that make sure, that these games go smoothly, but you're getting there hours before the team even gets there to set up,
I
you
know.
know.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. And Valley Forge being a Division three school, CSAC being a Division three conference, I feel like we're special, and I feel like Division three, will always have a special place in my heart. So
Yeah.
let's touch on, why Division three is a special place for you.
hmm So I think Division 3 allows student athletes to have the opportunity to grow and have like different experiences. Um, I think that it's very different from Division 1 and Division 2 because it gives you the ability to define yourself other than being just an athlete. You learn more about who you are. I think it actually gives you more time to figure certain things out and do things that you probably wouldn't be able to do if you were at another division.
Right. So it seems like, that balance between, you know, your academics and your career aspirations and sports is, like kind of beneficial for you and, something that you value.
Yeah.
Good. Good. So, you know, how did you, if you don't mind me asking, how did
Yeah.
you, um, I guess, find, your position right now with University of Valley Forge? Was it like a ask like, hey, Gretchen,
Mhm.
you mind if I work with Valley Forge? Or like, how did that kind of go?
So actually in I think it was April of 2021, I started working in the gym as like a gym worker and like, making sure everything is clean, putting the weights away, different things like that. And then it was September of that same year. I had just reached out to her, I texted her and I asked her, like, I want to get more involved. Is there anything that I can do? And then she actually responded and said that she's been waiting for me to ask. And so it was like the week after that, she set me up with everything, taught me all of these different things, and now I'm still in the same role. So
Right.
it worked out pretty good.
So literally what you just said right there is like a perfect example of networking.
hmm
Sometimes the little things such as a text like, hey, I'm a willing worker, I want to get more experience, this is the career I
Yeah.
want to go down. It serves a long way. And, I feel like I wish more of our student athletes, would take that initiative because, I feel like college is what you make it.
It is.
You'll get the good grades, but you got to create a career path for yourself.
hmm Yeah, that's true.
So, I have one more question for you that I want to
Mhm.
explore. So you're a sophomore right now. You're already starting in your career path. You know what
Mhm.
direction you want to go in.
Mhm.
We have some student athletes that are seniors. They might want to explore college athletics, but they don't really know how to get into it. So, what are some words of advice that you
Mhm.
have for our students that might want to get into college athletics, and have a career in college athletics, but don't really understand what steps to take or just they're at
Yeah.
kind of square one with it.
Uh, I think that I would say to take advantage of the opportunities that you have like within your university. Like for me, like all it took was just a text. I feel like there's no better way to learn about how to get a job in college athletics other than to like, reach out and like get involved. Um, I think I would also say to create a good reputation for yourself. Have a good reputation, within your school and your athletic department, and just be willing to do things that other people wouldn't do because, like, at the end of the day, it's a competitive industry. So,
Right. Well, those are actually great pieces of advice. Some advice that I'm gonna keep using as well. So I appreciate you on that. Um, so I think our time is coming to an end here, but we definitely appreciate you for being on the show and kind of sharing those experiences with not only convention but career paths and
yeah,
the immersion program. So we appreciate you. Thanks for coming on the show, and we wish you the best on your future endeavors.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
For sure.